the comments that were posted about the first video that came out there were thousands of them, and I didn't read all of them, but it was interesting. They were varied in levels of awareness. And these levels of awareness correspond with the very process that we go through when we are healing from trauma. There's the shock and the disbelief, an overwhelming amount of information that enters the system, and it's just too much, and we just are in shock. And this is reaction to trauma. It's also reaction to this news that world leaders are engaging in these extremely dark acts. And then the second, they're not clear steps, but they come in different times for different people. But then there's the stage of anger, which is very important and necessary to feel the anger of what was done to me personally, and then to feel the anger about what is being done. Anger restores the responsibility, places the responsibility where it belongs. So it's a very important part of the process of healing. That includes fantasies of revenge and just wanting to do the same and worse to the perpetrator. So that is also part of the process. And, especially if we can experience these feelings in the process of healing from trauma, then we don't have to go and put unconscious revenge out on people that, are around us, or maybe people in the world, as we are power addicted. And then there's a stage of just acceptance and feeling the pain, the same as the child felt, the powerlessness and the reality of this moment that is very heavy to carry. And then the grief comes. So the grief is also a very necessary part of the process. And I've been in this kind of part of the process anywhere for these last 30 years. So carried a lot of grief, carried a lot of pain. It's very heavy. It's very difficult often to just even make it through the day when we're going into the pain from the past, especially with sexual abuse. It's really very difficult to live in the world and then also heal from sexual abuse. And then the last part is there's something that happens that is a part of ourselves, an emotional part of ourselves that was ejected out in the moment of trauma because we weren't able to process in the moment, is integrated into our consciousness. And when this integration happens through these various steps, it's magic, and we just feel the expansion. We feel more whole. We are able to see the world with different eyes. The world responds to us differently. The awareness is increased, and that expansion increases our ability to love and to empathize with others. And that is the process. So before the process begins, there's aggression and attacks. And there's pretty much, when you look at the world today, that's pretty much what we've got, is this aggression and war. And going into our own emotional life brings us through this process to ourselves, and through ourselves and awareness of our own pain and all the feelings, we expand our consciousness and then are able to love and desire for peace and want peace in the world. So living inside the world and navigating the world, though, is very easy to do when you're not in any kind of emotional process, because you're not bogged down by feeling empathy or feeling, scruples. You can just walk over bodies and you can just make it to the top. But once you enter this process and you look at the trauma that you have experienced and you courageously look at the ways in which you were hurt by maybe the people you loved the most, once you enter that process, life becomes very, very difficult. Repetition of trauma just happens continually. Life was so hard for me. I wouldn't have been able to work for many years. I just questioned myself at every tiny little thing, every tiny little interaction that I had with a person. I had to question a million times because I always thought I must have done something wrong. My guilt complex was so great. It was just all invading my every moment of my life. I was always symbolically repeating some part of my trauma story and getting into situations with people where there would be an emotional charge, and that was really belonging to the past. And life is very difficult. Survival is very difficult to manage when you're also dealing with these very painful feelings. So it's the way out, though. Unfortunately, the only way out is through.